Hey, welcome to A Life That Travels. I'm Rob Malicki and welcome to Queensland University of Technology, QUT, at the Gardens Point campus. In this video, we're going to talk about what QUT is all about, how it ranks, what it's like to study here. And by the end of this video, you should have a better idea about whether or not QUT is the place for you to come and study. Now, like all of our review videos, this is completely unbiased. I've worked in higher education for 20 years. I've helped literally tens of thousands of students decide what happens next with their life. So I think we've got some good things to chat about. Let's go and have a look around. The university was actually incorporated in 1989, so a very young institution, but the history of it goes back to like 1849 when it was like the Queensland or the Brisbane College of Arts was founded on this site. So even though the university, Queensland Uni of Technology, was founded in 89, it's got a long history. Queensland Institute of Technology was here before, so before it had uni status. It was teaching education here, and you can sort of see that in some of these like classic old buildings, which are spectacular. The university now is home to some 50,000 students, so it's a very big institution, and about 38,000 of those are undergraduate, about 12,000 are postgraduate, so it actually makes it quite a strong postgraduate program here. And research, of course, very applied research, being a University of Technology, which, if that's the sort of thing you want to get into, really practical, applied, real-world research, it's one of the things that the university prides itself on. Well, as the name very much suggests, it's a University of Technology, so QUT's strengths definitely lie in science and technology and engineering, mathematics. But you can actually study a very wide range of disciplines here. Creative industries is incredibly strong here at QUT. You also have some of the humanities disciplines, languages, business. There are actually a ton of different courses available. So in terms of being like an institution that offers quite a large range of choices, there are a lot of disciplines here that you might not instinctively think of as being taught at a technological university. And just because it has the name technology in the title doesn't necessarily mean that other areas aren't incredibly strong. So definitely worth looking at. Coffee, lots of different coffee places on campus at QUT. Lots of different eateries, which is obviously an advantage for a student. Do need to eat. Like here, this is the branding for the library, where you can actually come and get your problem solved. I like that, it's quite fresh. Gotta say, it's definitely a University of Technology when it's got like an esports section. That is pretty freaking cool, I gotta say. I'm not even somebody who's into video games growing up, but that is what it's all about. That's innovation. This is one of the newer sections of campus. I can remember when these buildings were just being put up, which is probably like 2010 or 2012, I want to say. So it's relatively recent in the grand scheme of things. Once again, the uni has done a fantastic job of melding like this beautiful new modern infrastructure with like sort of classic sandstone. You know, one of the things that I really love about QUT is that they've done a fantastic job of melding like this sort of outdoor environment, these kind of like lovely gardens, with some really interesting architecture and buildings, both the kind of like classic old school buildings, but then some really modern architecture too. And it's got a super nice vibe as a result. Like, yes, you are in the inner city here, absolutely, but you're right next to the Botanical Gardens, which has an enormous amount of open space, of course. And the campus itself is actually quite open and green and has a pretty chill vibe to it. So it's got a lot going for it. Has this video been helpful? Please subscribe and hit like. Also ring the bell. That really helps me out in terms of being able to create more videos for you to help you decide what's the right step for you next. Hey guys, this is Holly and Ali from QUT. What do you guys study?
I study engineering and business.
Cool. And I study engineering and IT.
Nice. So what's it like studying here?
Honestly, it's really good. I really love studying at QUT.
No, it's pretty good. I don't know, everything's very hands-on, you know.
It is very hands-on compared to what I've heard.
We just came from a prac.
Yeah,
so.
And we constantly have pracs and all the tutors are really lovely and
awesome.
They really do care, which is nice.
For those people who might be at high school watching this, what's a prac as opposed to like a lecture or something like that?
Like where you actually have to perform an experiment.
Yeah,
much.
So we have a lot of them in engineering because it's a lot of, I guess you're applying the mathematics to practical things. So we were just experimenting with beams and force and stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
What surprised you about studying at QUT?
Well, obviously the motto is a university for the real world.
And I actually genuinely is.
Yeah.
Really?
I spoke to a few people about doing engineering, whether I should go to UQ or QUT before I came here. And a lot of people said, if you really like the more theoretical, go to UQ.
Yeah.
If you're a hands-on learner and you learn like more visually and by doing things, go to QUT. And I definitely
I think it's
realised that. Yeah.
Are there lots of kind of practical opportunities then, like internships and stuff to get you kind of out to, work with businesses and stuff like that?
They definitely put up a lot, and there's a lot of societies, and they definitely have a lot of activities.
Honestly,
to
I'm
do.
constantly getting emails about different types of like vacation programs and holiday things and extracurricular things that we can do.
Awesome. Are you guys involved in anything outside of straight up class? Clubs, societies?
Yeah, well, I'm doing medical engineering, so I'm part of FOAM.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What's that?
Fellowship of Medical Engineers.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's like obviously just the group that I'm with, and they have social events. They always post all the new research stuff on Facebook.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously there's like GEMS, which is like girls in engineering.
I'm a part of GEMS and motorsports, which I'm a part of. And then there's loads of business ones as well, like AMPS, which I'm a part of.
And it's a good vibe on. So obviously, sounds like there's heaps of opportunities outside of class.
Yeah.
And then, general vibe. What's it like? I've always loved coming here as a visitor. I feel like the kind of like this balance between this like funky new shit up there and like classic old stuff is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But what do you guys feel?
I think honestly the vibe's changed for me a lot since I've been furthering my degree. In the beginning, it's such a big uni. There are so many people. It's hard. Like everyone's kind of in there to go to class and then leave.
Yep.
But as you further your degree, go down to your discipline, it's like gets a smaller cohort and you become better friends with people.
Nice.
It's more friendly environment.
Nice.
Yeah, and opposed to some other like uni campuses, we're kind of on top of each other. Like all the businesses have like 5 levels.
Yeah, right.
Which in first year is kind of like, how do I know what class I'm going to? But then when you get to third year, it's kind of nice not to have to walk. Like at UQ, it takes like 20 minutes to walk across campus, whereas it'll take me 3 minutes to get to my other class.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. I think uni just isn't as intense as school. So as in like it's harder, but it's not.
A lot more self-motivation.
Yeah, you
have no one breathing down your neck. Really.
Yeah, like if you know you don't want to study, then probably study isn't for you. If you want to study, then go to uni, do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Like you can't just. It's not like school.
Yeah.
So.
No one's going to force you to do it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Guys, thanks so much for chatting. Really
Oh,
appreciate
good.
it. All right, cool. I really believe that universities are either kind of on the rise or on the fall. And one of the things that makes such a big difference to institutions is stable leadership. QUT had the same Vice-Chancellor, head of the university, for something like 15 years. He's retired not that long ago. And I think you really see that in the way that the university has got a sort of vision that's been seen through to the end. And that makes a huge difference because this place has had 15 years to actually follow a vision and to actually become what it's become. One of the things that's really tough for universities is when they change leaders too often, it just kind of gets chaotic and people end up spending heaps too much time in restructures and things like that. QUT has been stable and I think it really shows in the infrastructure that's been developed here. Isn't this amazing? Like these kind of big touch screens that you get to play with. Really fantastic. Chemistry was not my subject at uni. I got through first year and then I signed up for organic chemistry. Those of you who've done chemistry know organic chemistry is fucking hard. And that's when I decided that I didn't need to be a chemist. Oh dear. That's the great thing about uni, right? Is you can always chop and change. and nobody judges you for it. So be fearless about jumping into things that you think you might enjoy, and if they suck, you change, give them up and change. Stunning building, complete with like these huge touch screens where you can actually come in here and like learn about different things right here in the lobby of the building. It's like a new engineering building, and you can see that the uni has done a fantastic job of actually like creating these sort of student-focused learning spaces like lab stations and collaboration rooms. They've really done a good job in focusing on students here. Do you have any questions or comments? Please drop them in the comments below. If you've studied at QUT and you want to share your experience, drop it down here. That's really helpful for other people. And if you have any questions, pop them in there and I'll definitely get back to you. I love the fact that like just over that fence is the botanical gardens. So like kind of this amazing extension of the university. You just have all of this amazing space that's just open to you. What else do you need to know about QUT in terms of rankings? Well, it's consistently ranked one of the best new universities in Australia by the Times Higher Education Group in their annual ranking of the top 50 under 50. Not only one of the top in Australia, one of the top in the world as well. And I think that is really reflected in the quality of teaching that goes on here, the quality of the student experience. Well, I've had a really nice little walk around QUT and I really love this institution. You know, so many opportunities for students, world class in some of its areas, and definitely, you know, the fact that it's had that stable leadership over such a long period of time means that it's definitely an institution that's on the rise. The other thing I love is that there are so many opportunities outside the classroom. Holly and Ali, who I was speaking to just a few moments ago, have done exchange programs and short-term programs all around the world. So a ton of different international study opportunities for students, practical opportunities, leadership opportunities. Those are the sorts of things that when you get to an interview, actually help get you the job that you want, not just any old job. So I'm a big fan of universities that are really real world and that actually give you those kind of opportunities. Anyway, great having a look around here, and I hope that's useful for you. And I will see you next time on A Life That Travels. Thanks for watching.